Hello, everyone. This is the end of the year, and we wanted to actually come together and talk about some of the nice cars that we reviewed throughout the year.
I can't stop smiling. I'm so sorry.
Eugene goes into ego mode.
We are
But this is just on a whole new level.
TVEC.
This is a performance car after all, so you'd expect it to be a lot more rough in terms of ride.
Reactions. Reviews.
Handmade engineering underneath this monster.
Messing around.
4 liters of fuel. Eugene, you're paying for this.
It's crazy. I'm not gonna have enough.
Like, comment, subscribe, enjoy.
So, to start us off, Leetu.
This is the TVEC Driving Wrapped 2024. Which basically
quite
means
a few cars, by the way. Quite a few.
we are. Well, I will.
Well, he
ask-
hasn't.
He hasn't.
Yes.
He decided university and girls are better than the channel.
Your priorities, bro. You need to get them in order.
If I did a driving wrapped, half of the cars will be buses that I took, and maybe some Ubers.
Yes.
But we're not going to talk about that today. That'll be a different thing in a different platform. What I'm going to do is ask Eugene and Mateo some very difficult questions when it comes to the cars they reviewed this year.
Why are you so difficult? Why do you have to be so difficult?
He's an old man.
No. This is what we deal with on a daily basis. Literally.
Well, over the phone, so it's even worse.
Yeah,
Let's not even go there into the group chat.
and that's like an hour long.
yeah, nah.
Yeah.
2 hours actually.
Two plus hours. Yeah.
And then we call for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that for another day. A not as hot day.
So yeah. Anyway, gonna start us off.
First question.
Mm.
In the notes app that has nothing on it, but I'll still look at it anyway.
He's so unprepared.
I'm very well. To be fair, we did prepare these questions like literally 5 minutes ago. So,
Yes.
Yeah, it's fresh.
I told you a week ago to do it,
Yes,
but you decided not to.
because Jaguar had an implosion,
Let's not start there. We're not gonna start there. That's for 2025.
and Nissan might actually not. By the time you see
Yes.
this video, Nissan might not actually exist anymore.
Yes.
So
And we were going to speak about controversial cars, but there's too many.
there's
So
way
we're
too
just going to leave it. We're going to only talk about our experiences.
Mm.
And actually, when it comes to controversial cars, the first question I'm going to ask you all: what car was the most surprising this year?
I want to let Eugene start.
The most surprising car for this year was by far the CLS 63 that we did. That was the first car that I think I've driven where it actually shocked me into liking it so much. I don't think I've driven a car where it necessarily does something and immediately I'm head over heels into it. Like, I'll even put up a clip right now and you can see like my reaction. Alright, so guys, so now I'm actually just gonna give it a little bit of beans. Wow. It just, for the first time we
I know that
accelerated.
reaction very
You still
well.
remember that reaction?
Yes.
Oh
Oh my. And the only other car that's done that is an RS7.
Yeah, but honestly, I think compared to the RS7 that we did, we will get into that a bit later. I think I'd rather choose the CLS because I felt so much more alive in that car.
Yeah.
You felt, funny enough, when we were done with that review, we didn't even talk about the steering. Like,
No.
it was actually very
The
sharp.
steering was great.
It was so nice.
It was
and
great. You felt
direct and
connected.
precise. Yeah.
That's what I can say.
What
You
I-
felt like you were driving the car.
I
Yeah.
just realized now that you guys only mentioned that specifically when I was calling both of you
Yes.
on the day actually.
Yes.
I remember you called me and then you added Mateo to the call, and I was asking you both about the steering, and I asked them both about steering. Mind you, I'm in Cape Town. It's raining, pouring down with rain. Obviously.
Yes.
As
Only
Cape Town
driving
is
600
always.
horsepower rear-wheel drive cars.
And I remember asking them about the handling and everything because Eugene was still going to be editing the video. And I asked him about the handling, and they were talking about how sharp it feels and everything, and steering and all that. And I was like, great! I can't wait to see that in the video. And I watched the video.
It's just acceleration,
Just
guys.
acceleration.
we
And
talked
our
about, nothing but
reaction.
handling.
That's what handling.
Because we were so flabbergasted by the performance of it that I think it just took a lot of what we're going to say out the window.
100%.
I think it just did.
And for me, it was horrible because where I was at the moment in time, I'd just driven a CLS 400. Now that's only 235 kilowatts, and the back end came out at about 6 kilometers an hour. Your back end comes up. You go out a parking lot, the back end comes up. And then I thought, well, now I'm going to drive a 370 kilowatt V8 twin turbo CLS. And I thought, well, I'm going to die. And then I didn't die. It just went straight. And your head goes back in the seat, and you feel like you start to fly, and it's just pure. It is AMG. That is pure AMG.
And you even said in the video, like, that's why people are not ordering the C63.
100%. I think for the RS7, it was a while ago, so we need to drive it again. Like, I know that car is the fastest car we've driven this year.
By far.
For sure.
By far.
But again, Audi does it so well that is an Autobahn killer. You're going to just cruise to 300 and you're not going to feel it. You put your foot down, you feel it when you put your foot down, but it's not like an exciting in terms of like engagement. It's like just generally exciting because of how fast it is. Whereas the CLS was, like I said, an animal. It feels like an SLS with 4 doors. Like, you're scared to put your foot down a bit because you're not sure what the car is going to do. And then you put your foot down fully and it only goes straight. And you think, well, why is it only going straight? Why is it handling well if it's rear wheel drive?
And funny enough, before we actually went out to drive, I went to go talk to one of the guys there about the car. And I remember him saying this: when you're going to drive a car, or when you drive this car, it's going to feel like it's just tugging at the tarmac. And I didn't believe him at the time because I came from the basis of the RS7. So that one just went. And
we all expected it.
It's
Quattro, it's Audi, lots of power. You know it's going 200 and that's great.
But when I got around that bend and I absolutely gunned it, that was literally my whole entire oxygen system was gone.
Yes.
Like, it was just...
You forgot how to speak for about 6 minutes.
Actually, I forgot how to breathe.
He just looked. He looked at me. I had to move the camera straight because he was just looking. He didn't say anything. And he had to say, well, I'm going to give it to Matteo now.
I think for a mere 5 seconds, I think I died. I might have actually died. Like, my eyes were just open. There was no breath going inside me. I'm like,
no. And so, leading to that point, the RS7 had a performance model, which I mentioned in our video, which was 605 horsepower from that time. So, a lot more. And those were said to handle better and drive a lot better. And Throttle House tested those to do 100 in 3.3 seconds. So I'd love to drive that and see if it's more engaging than the standard RS7. But again, Merc also has its competition. And there is a CLS 63S, which is all-wheel drive with 630 horsepower Nady.
I would be really scared to drive that.
And then you got the MGGTs, which are touching 800.
Yes, and you've got the new RS7 performances, which are also doing 3.1, 3.2 to 100. And so we have a lot of exclusive coupe sedans, hybrids that we need to do in the next year, including Bentley. We have to get a Continental. We will get one for you guys next year.
Either a Continental or Flying Spur.
I want to get a speed.
Not a Super Speed. I want a Super Sport.
Well, I want a W12. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I need a Super Sport.
You want to experience with W12? You want to experience with W12?
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. Personally, I've never really cared for the V8. Because if you have a Bentley, you have to get the most spec'd out one.
Yes.
And that's a W12.
If you want a V8, buy an Audi. Well, from the VAG group, let me say that. Because the Bentley V8 is the same as the Audi V8. They're going to hate me, but it's fine. Because you can just buy the W12. And then let me actually answer the question, because I haven't answered the question yet. So again, the most like shocking car, definitely to drive the CLS, 100%. I'm an Audi fanboy. I was an AMG fanboy before. And then AMG kind of fell off a little bit, and I fell in love with Audi more. And as an Audi fanboy, I will still say the CLS is more engaging to drive than the RS7. The RS7 is a better daily driver car, but it was newer, a better tech. It's easier to just cruise in. You don't know you're doing 180.
No,
you don't know.
You'd never. I think,
but the CLS you do know, because it kind of has that experience with it. A chaotic yet elegant experience, if I can say.
Then what about
the
experience with the Volvos?
Okay, yeah. The Volvos was also another...
Very close to the CLS.
Yes.
Very close.
Especially the EX30.
Having this ability to just go straight away. I mean, the Amarok on our back is no more on our back. He's gone. You just go. There's no like effort needed.
That was a single motor and rear wheel drive. So we weren't expecting it to be stupid fast. And then the advanced driving Volvo guy.
Because that's the first time you drove an electric car.
But but I had driven a lot of fast Volvos. So
But
I wasn't
it's an
expecting
electric
the slow electric one to be that quick. Because there's still the twin motor with nearly double the double the power nearly.
That does 0 to 100 in 3.4 seconds.
Yes, tested. 3.6 claimed and gets under. For you that know the Rock Raceway, that car was then drilled basically everything for a few hours and then left. So we have to get the twin motor X30. Another one that surprised us, XC60 T8. Funny story for you guys. In the video, we pull up behind a blue S3. I tried to race the S3. He then moved to a separate lane, so we couldn't race him. And 2 hours after the video was done, the car was listed on Facebook for sale. So we made him sell his car by mistake. So if you ever somehow watch this video, we apologize.
Yeah.
We hope you bought a Volvo.
And when we're actually coming back on the highway, I was changing into the lane to come back to the dealership, and I remember this Ranger absolutely gunning it out of nowhere. Meanwhile, I'm in the right at that time, that moment in time, that very much moment in time. And I remember saying, "Thank you, God, that I have power," because usually in my usual daily driver, I can't do anything like that. So I'm pretty sure you saw in the first bit of the video, we actually got up straight to the Ranger because he cut me off. So I had to return the favor.
Yes.
And you had to
We
return the
just
favor.
assert dominance.
I'm so sorry about Eugene's daily driver.
You know, that we'll get into in 2025.
Yeah.
That will be,
Because 2025, we're going to have a set of goals, some realistic, some unrealistic.
yeah.
But the difference is all three of us probably would have a different car.
Yes.
We're going to make a way. The channel has some massive plans for 2025.
So please subscribe and
Subscribe and like,
share.
get views for us because
To the
we have
6%
some
of you,
big things.
well done. Thank you for subscribing. The 94% of you that have not subscribed,
yes,
please.
you in
go to
India,
Twitter.
you in Pakistan, you in Australia, you in
All in
UK,
Australia.
in America, all of you.
Especially Australians. Guys, we don't understand half of you are South African anyway.
Yes, you just
Help us
moved
out.
there 3 years ago, before COVID or after COVID. That's when you moved there. You're not Australian, you're South African. Subscribe.
Help brothers out.
Subscribe, Brit.
But now to finish my answer, the most shocking car in terms of just what it is was actually the Cooper S. Now, I say that with latter knowledge to the video, because in the video, there was a lot that was great about the car.
Wait, which Cooper is?
one that
The
we-
brand new one,
the brand new one.
2024
Oh, okay,
Cooper
yeah,
S. But we actually were at Mini not too long ago, and a wonderful salesman there gave us a lot of information. So stay tuned. We're going to be going to that dealership a lot more. You're going to learn a lot more about them. And just a brief overview of some of the stuff they have. The screen in the new Minis took BMW 5 years to develop, and they developed with Samsung. It is the only round screen in the car industry, and everything generated is generated from scratch. So every app, every screen, every display is from scratch because all of them are usually square and now they're all round in that car. So there's a lot of sneaky features that Mini has in their cars. For instance, we didn't actually notice this because we weren't informed about it, but the car actually winks at you when you start up. It doesn't just do any light display, it gets all the lights going and then winks with you on the left because it's not just a car, it's another person. So with the latter knowledge, I have to say that is possibly one of the most surprising cars in terms of just general tech.
Yeah.
Also experience as a whole. Obviously, I can
Yeah.
finally speak about this. But yeah, we were all three of us were there for that that video specifically, and like, there's a level that most premium hatchbacks are, and then the Mini, surprisingly enough, is above that.
Yes.
Way
It's
above that.
especially
Yes.
when it comes to like the German hatches and
Their
all
quality and
that. Quality,
their
all of
build.
it, everything around the
So
experience.
we're not going to tell you too much, but there's a lot of interesting things that we're going to mention
the
next
video.
year.
Yeah.
Watch the
Yes.
video though.
Watch the video now. It's doing really well still.
Mhm.
But next year we're going to get involved when the JCW comes, when the Aceman comes.
Yeah.
We're going to do the Countryman JCW, the new Cooper S Electric. We're going to get to that as well.
Hopefully, the
So
cabinet.
yes, Cabriolet too. And we've got a lot of big things coming with Mini. And if some other plans work out well, we might even have bigger future plans with Mini as well. So we're going to keep our hopes up for that, keep our fingers crossed. But stay tuned because Mini is doing fantastic.
Yeah.
I know they
There's
are.
a lot of small things that no one will pick up with, and we can't wait to actually tell you about them.
Like
Okay.
the whole turnaround of Mini in a decade.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
the way I remember them, like,
From 2002.
from like 2000,
Or Mr. Bean.
or Mr. Bean, yeah.
That's the two.
Like when
New era.
like when we entered primary school, like they were a totally different brand to what they are now.
Yeah.
They're
They were
totally-
affordable,
Mhm.
decently built small British hatchbacks.
Yeah.
Now, weirdly enough, people may know that they are with BMW, but another small insider, I'm not going to tell you too much, but Coopers are still built in the UK. It's only Countrymen that are built in Germany.
Yeah.
But they have had a big brand change.
Yeah, man.
And even so, Chinese brands are very surprising. Cherry and Omoda.
Okay, we're
Which
getting
is
ahead
what
of
I was
ourselves.
going to get onto now.
But what I'm going to say just before later goes is that some of the Mini still surpasses them in terms of sales, in terms of presence. The Countryman over like an Omoda C9. I know your Omoda fanboys are probably going to hate me for this, but we really love the Countryman to where it's even up there, even in price. We still love the Countryman that much because of how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the next question.
We take it over a C9. Like,
Yes.
I would take it over a C9 every single day. Like,
Yes.
the build quality, the technology, everything that you get in a luxury car is pretty much in that.
Yes.
And for most people that are buying cars like that, you're not necessarily going to be going off-road 24/7. You're going to be here in the streets doing whatnot, doing family matters and everything associated with being, in that sort of class.
So moving from
But
there, right?
before we have disclosed, that's not a knock.
Again.
Yes, that's not a knock on the C9.
Yeah.
Go watch our video. You'll see we actually really enjoyed that car,
Yeah.
and for what it is, it's great. It's just we kind of are Mini fanboys. You have to go experience Mini. Go drive a Mini right now.
Yeah.
Stop the video, pause it, go drive a Mini, come back. Okay, on to the next
You were
question.
about to say?
Okay, so the next question. Obviously, actually this year we've done the biggest, the widest range. Let me say that of different brands.
Yes.
Over the past year, right now. Which brand positively surprised you and obviously negatively disappointed you? Of the ones that we did.
And I have to go back like 11 months.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Well, it's surprising in good ways. Always Volvo.
Yeah,
Volvo's always good.
them I'll always give credits to. Because number one, they've always helped us out when we needed to.
Yeah.
And we've also taken out cars on the highway. I don't think...
Yeah, they're giving us proper journeys with the car.
Proper-
We went twisty roads, bumpy roads, highways. We went around for a while. We had actual experience with the car, which was great from Volvo. And there was never a hassle.
Nah.
We could walk in there today and say, we want to do a review later today or tomorrow, and they'd be okay with that. They'd make a plan. They'd wash the car, charge it up, make sure it was ready for us.
Volvo is also another brand that actually has improved a lot
Yes.
over the past 20 years.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if you're watching this, you probably remember this. Like back in the days of-
2015 and under.
yeah,
Just think about the XC90 and
Goodness
XC60
me.
from
It was-
there.
like those cars were basically, if you couldn't afford
They
it,
just
if you
tanks with a
couldn't-
weird look.
Yes,
That's exactly what it. They built strong and they super safe and
But
they
they
weren't
looked-
bad inside,
they
but they were
looked-
kind of
they looked
like
cheap.
Mazda or like I don't even know what. They were just
No, but they
awkward.
those cars are like if you couldn't afford an Audi or Mercedes or BMW.
And you were in your
Or
70s
Lexus.
or an accountant.
Yeah, then
You'd
you
buy
buy
those.
Volvo. Okay, so second part to this, cars that
Yes, Eugene.
car brands that disappointed you.
That's a tough one.
Okay, I won't
there's-
say a brand, but there was a
name
used...
and
I'm
shame.
not going to name and shame right now.
I'm gonna name and
but
I'm
there
going to
was-
name and shame.
No. Don't do it.
Oh.
There was a used car dealer that we did deal with
Okay.
that...
Okay,
no
that one
longer-
we'll keep disclosed.
that we don't no longer have ties with, but we will discuss that in a video, maybe in another year's time.
If enough of you, how about this?
If
Right?
enough of you like and comment to
And
tell the
subscribe.
story
yeah,
and
then-
subscribe, then we will do it.
If this video gets
500 likes.
500 likes,
500 likes, yeah.
500
500
likes,
likes, and we'll tell the story.
then we'll
we'll tell the story.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
disclose it.
Or alternatively on TikTok too.
Yeah.
If the TikTok video, if that video gets 20,000 views, then we'll do a full
Yes.
TikTok like.
And this will just lead into, we have an idea coming up next year for TikTok and YouTube where we will go through each dealer we've been to, new dealers, record, and see what our experience is at each dealer. So if you guys like this enough, we will give you the behind the scenes of what actually happened.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of general dealers, Mercedes sometimes can have a bit of a problem with service.
Yes.
Even with us, as they know us as here to film, and we don't charge to film. We're just there to film a car. And this is specifically in the used car department because like Mercedes Santon has been lovely for us. We're in talks with them. Midrand is a
Let's not
bit,
go there. Let's not
yeah.
go there.
And the same goes with some Range Rovers.
Yeah.
Now, I have a friend his mom's got a Range Rover, and Range Rover Bedford View have treated them lovely.
Yeah.
Like, great. But then we've had some other Range Rovers in like Santon, per se, where sometimes the quality of service isn't great.
Yeah,
We've had some great videos with them, and we've had some not so great encounters with the dealership, if you can say.
That's a long story short. It's the reason why we have not shot a video at a Land Rover dealership in a whole year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even
Last time
though near enough most recent videos have all done quite well with Range Rover. We even have an 8,000 view Range Rover video from the dealer.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this video, we'll disclose all the tea.
We'll tell all. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
all
going
the
to be a
tea will
full
be
story
told.
time
Yes.
on all platforms if you want, but you have to give
You have to
enough-
show us that you want it.
You have to show us that you want it. Also, bring the subscribers numbers up. If you can get like 100
Yes.
more subscribers.
Just 1.5 by the end of this year.
Yeah.
And then we know next year you're going to bring 100,000.
Yeah.
You better tell your granny, your grandpa, your mom, your auntie, your uncle, all 16 of your cousins.
Your
Tell
whole,
them to subscribe.
your whole workplace. If
Yes.
you're at uni, every single uni group chat.
Yes.
All
If
of
you're in
them.
high school, all of them.
All of
I
them.
know there's over 90-year-olds here. I don't know if it's 13-year-olds who have listed themselves as 90. Tell all your old age home friends.
Yeah.
If my gran can follow us, your gran can too.
Mhm.
But in terms of the question, because you answered it, I think we've been treated pretty nicely this year.
Yes.
Except for that one bit that I just said.
But luckily that was quite a while
It
ago.
was quite a while ago. Everything else has been, quite
Time
nice.
out because I feel like there's a lot of light coming from the back and we look like shadows.
What's the next?
This is the longest
Okay.
that the gimbal has lasted.
Yes.
Thank
by the
God.
way.
Did you charge it the whole night?
With that pod.
Okay.
Can't cut that. No one knows what that is. Bleep
Okay.
it.
Yeah, what's the next one?
What is the next question? Next question is okay. So we're gonna rank your top 3
Of the year.
of the year for each different segment of cars. So
Okay.
I don't think we actually did that many sedans, but
Not
top 3
really.
SUVs, top 3 hatchbacks, top 3 sports cars. The reason why I'm removing sedans, I might actually put them into some.
We could do like a sedan coupe. Because we've done the CLS, we've done
The RS7.
the RS7,
but that's about it.
and that's that. We've
Wow,
done
wow.
one Avant car,
Wow, damn.
which was the M3 Touring.
How about this? I'll just put that.
Okay,
under
we'll start
family.
with hatchbacks and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So we've definitely done more than 3 hatchbacks.
Yeah. Okay, is this for driving or reviewing?
I'll put it.
In general, or just with our driving experience?
I'll say driving experience first,
Okay.
and then you can do a special mention for cars that we didn't.
That are good that we didn't
so
get to
one
drive.
special
That
mention.
we want to drive. We'll
Yeah.
do that.
Okay, top 3 for hatchbacks. Driving. Number 1 is the Abarth. That was one of the most fun cars I think we've driven this year.
Car sounds phenomenal.
Number 2 would be the Golf R. Definitely, because I remember when we walked away from that review, when I walked away, I did walk away with a smile. Like I did
Yes.
genuinely walk away thinking like this is an actually very, very good car. Not for the price tag that it is at,
Yes.
but in general, it's a very, very good car to drive. The last one, what's the last? The Subaru. I almost forgot about that because it was so long ago and we've done so many cars. But
Yes.
that was like, I unlocked the 10-year-old dream in me. I don't know what the hell that was. But I unlocked that younger version of me where, you're watching old shows like the Fast and Furious 4, where Paul Walker actually drove the hatchback version of the WRX STI.
Mm.
And that was a really, really fun car. Like that was really nice. Yeah.
And your special mention?
Special mention, Focus RS.
Yeah, I thought it was my focus.
That
RS.
would be like...
My special mention is going to be a special mention that Nelly made the cut for him.
Oh.
So I'll start with my special mention,
Yeah.
RS3.
Okay.
We have to drive it.
Mhm.
Only issue is the facelift will probably come next year.
That's
So we need to drive both. So
Mhm.
Audi, we're going to make plans with you.
Mhm.
Or if you're an owner and you somewhat trust us enough to give us your RS3. Because we've had owners, including an M3 owner who have given us their car
A
to
TT
review.
owner,
We've had a
shout out.
TT. We've had quite a few good experiences.
What
And a
we're
lot of
saying-
dealers who trust us.
Exactly. What we're saying is,
Yes.
they've driven Ferrari California
Yes.
Yeah.
and brought it back one piece perfectly fine. So
Yes. Same with the
Give us
CLS.
cars, please.
Yes,
Give us
give us more
That's
cars.
what we're asking. Like, is it so hard?
But on that, next year, like we said in the beginning of this video, got big things planned. If those plans happen, expect a lot of special cars.
Yeah.
But my top 3, I have to say Abarth at the top.
Yeah.
That car, it's like weirdly surprising, but it's just fun. Like I have a Fiat 500 that my mom uses it daily, and I drive that. And I hated Fiat for a long time. And the Abarth changed my mind. I mean, there's a lot that, like, I'd get a Competizione probably. Get Alcantara bucket seats, you get the nice steering wheel, Alcantara on the dashboard. Whereas if you get like a plain 500 Abarth, it's just the 500 with a different engine, with a turbo on the engine. So Abarth that we drove, the Yamaha, that exhaust note was insane. Might even be in the top 3 best sounding cars of the year that we've done.
Yeah, fact, by far.
Number 2, I don't want to say it, but the Golf R, like Eugene said, was very fun to drive. When you drive it, you feel South African.
Yes, that is the most South African car.
Yes, that is. We will make that a small part at the end of this video. What was the most South African car? And that's up there. The Golf R was just great to drive. You got your jams in the car, only the boys, you're jamming, windows down. You feel like you can race a cop. Now, I'm not going to go any further into that. But that will come sometime soon.
Yeah.
Third, Cooper S. I didn't get to drive the STR, but the Cooper S was a fun day. Leto had just come back. We all 3 of us got to take the car out to the dealership. Thank you to Ford. They trusted us with just being able to take the car out to go film in our forestry area there. Now, unfortunately, the marks did have a little bit of a fit over some of the bumps because the road was quite rough. But that car was surprising, and it really gave that extra interest in Mini.
Yeah.
So that is definitely my top 3, and we need an RS3. Focus RS close second. That was a good call also.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised none of you mentioned. Oh, that was last year though.
What?
I was gonna say the Type R.
Yes,
We
but that was last year. We need to drive it.
We need to
though.
drive a Type R.
Yes.
It's hard to find one, by the way. It's not easy.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not easy to find
Everyone
one.
buys one and they never sell it.
Yeah.
Ever.
And they just keep it in storage forever.
And then the ones that are new are always driven by either the DP or sales manager, or they're at some golf course for some event. So you never get your hands on one.
Yeah.
We've had like 4 failed attempts, just to let you guys know that we are trying.
Yeah.
We had like 4 failed Civic Type R driving attempts.
Yeah.
And every time we end up doing something else.
What's the next category?
Next category is best SUVs. Again,
Best SUVs.
same
Best
situation.
SUVs.
Hmm.
I think he'll go first.
I think I'm obliged to put the Urus up there. That was actually
As
our
a
first
mention.
video of the year. Yeah, to
As a
mention. We didn't get to drive it, obviously.
Yeah.
But again, I do want to say thank you to Ayob. I don't know if we're going to do a category of the best dealership now, or if we'll just keep that for next year's
No,
I
video.
think we'll keep that for next year.
Yeah. So big shout out to Ayob. They have always been great, and we're working with them for some big things for next year. So stay tuned for that. But I think you have to, as a special mention for sure, and maybe in there, because we haven't driven many SUVs this year, the Urus has to be up there. Best SUV we've driven, Range Rover SVR.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big V8 supercharged noise, all-wheel drive. That big nose lift boat. Actually, one of our most infamous video clips that is in the start of every one of our videos now is because of the Range Rover's fuel at
Yes.
the petrol station. That will be in a Funny Fails video to come.
I had to refuel because of this.
I drove it. The way
Let's-
that a Range Rover SVR driver should drive their car.
Letu's
Yeah,
famous,
you drive it
famous
like
words.
you have money. You don't have money. That's the thing. You don't have the
Yes,
Yet.
Yet.
but
But still-
Letu's famous words. I'm sure there's a rodeo with some twisty corners. Let's go
Oh my
left.
God, he would rather took a Range Rover in the corners. Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah.
Imagine taking a 2-ton ship into the corners.
Well, all new M5 owners knows what that feel like. But yes.
I was about to say that if you have an M5 or any performance SUV, whatnot,
You might as well
It's
consider it a
definitely-
yacht now. It's more of a yacht
Give
than a
us a
sports
shout.
car.
Send us a message. Our email is going to be down there. Literally just email us.
Yes. All of you have cars, send it to us. Yes, all
We'll
of
go
you.
to Australia if we have to.
Yes.
Aussies.
As long as you pay. But we'll mention that in our disclosed information. What other SUVs have you actually driven?
The XC6.
Okay, XC60. I
XC60
forgot about
Ford
that.
Territory.
XC60.
No.
Okay.
Territory's down here.
Number one
I
is
never-
T8.
Never liked it.
Okay, no, actually SVR is number one still.
It's
I think it's
number one.
SVR,
T8.
XC60, T8,
Mhm.
maybe EX30. That is technically speaking an SUV, like
Yeah,
very
crossover.
technical.
It's a crossover. It's a cross.
It's a
it crosses
cross utility
hatches.
vehicle.
Exactly.
It's a CUV. It's a baby SUV. But we haven't driven much more.
Now,
Like we didn't drive the Prado. That was a great video.
but by the way, thank you all for
Yes.
your views because that.
But we want
changed
3,000 more.
I think
So it
for
can
me
be
that's nice what you
7,000.
mentioned there. The Land Cruiser
The
Prado.
Prado for sure.
Not really surprised with that car.
In terms of what?
Good ways and bad.
Yeah.
I did mention in the video.
Well, it's matured a lot more than the Hilux.
It has.
There's
Yes.
screens now
There's
and Bluetooth.
screens and safe
That's things you don't find in Toyotas that often anymore.
But I agree a lot with a lot of the comments. I mean, in terms of how the car looks at the back, I don't particularly like. But
Yeah.
you know, that's design stuff. It's subjective.
But it's a Toyota. Everyone's going to buy it still. And that
Exactly.
was proven because that car sold like 700 units in 3 weeks.
yeah, it's one of
So-
Toyota's best-selling cars in South Africa, which is
Yeah.
quite surprising given the price.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I do agree with much of what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Like, we've driven a lot, and yeah, I'd also pick that as well. That's a stupid fly.
I think we should also do a quick mention of, seeing as I mentioned the EX30, of some of our favorite crossovers.
Yeah.
The EX30 is definitely number one,
Yeah.
Okay.
for sure. Do I wish there was like, maybe we need to drive a C40 with a petrol motor as well, a hybrid C40 or something along the lines of that also to see? Yes, the EX30 was great though. Another one I'd love to mention is the Tiggo Cross.
Yeah.
Great car for the money.
That is-
Under 500,000 Rand, near enough full spec.
Yeah.
It's got all the tech you need. It's a great car. And the video is doing really well.
yeah.
Go and watch that so that can be our second biggest video of the year. Because that video is doing great.
Oh, also, weirdly enough, the Tiggo Cross actually accelerates better than the Omoda C9.
Yes.
So
Now,
even for the
we'd like to apologize. We did say the C9 has a DCT because 87.9% of Chinese cars have the same DCTs. Now, that's not a hit because they're not bad gearboxes. But the Omoda randomly came out with an 8-speed auto. So it wasn't the quickest of gears
Yeah.
or gearboxes, and it was mapped very weirdly. So although the torque is great
Yeah.
and the engine power is quite good,
have
the
to get
torque
to
felt
force.
very low, yes.
Yeah, you have to get
From
to
like
force to feel it.
Mid-third range, it starts pulling really well. But that first and second gear is a bit weird.
Yeah.
So that's where a hybrid motor in that car would be great.
Which is coming out next year.
Yes.
So please definitely say subscribe, stay tuned. We'll probably
Get to that. We've got luckily for us, got a really good relationship now with a Chery, Haval, Omoda, JQ, GWM, Aura. We've got a good relationship with that, a giant privately owned brand. So in Edenvale. So actually also, we need to mention this. If you guys are looking for a Chery or an Omoda or even a JQ, something along the lines of that
And you're
is
based
in
in Gauteng.
Edenvale and you're based in Gauteng, go to Chery Edenvale, tell us that you were sent by us, or
Tell them
what's
to send us.
easier, actually send us an email or send us a DM or something like that. Maybe Eugene can link some of our information below, because if we can get involved with that, we can help you with your deal, make it a little bit more streamlined, and get you in touch with the actual dealership and the dealership management. And you'll be able to get a test drive, and yeah, it will be great for you guys.
Last question. Best performance car of the year.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Driven or in general?
I'll make a concession here. And it can be in general.
In general.
Best performance car.
That's tough.
That's tough, bro.
V12 Vantage.
The best for performance car.
V12 Vantage is top 3.
Yeah.
We didn't get to drive it. We got driven in it.
Driven in it.
That V12 is magical.
Yeah.
I have to say that. In that small body, when the car is the size of the table that you balanced on, that car is a lot of car.
Yeah.
GT3 RS?
How can you forget that one?
3 RS is up there.
Yeah, how can we forget
Porsches are built like the brick house in the Three Little Pigs. That's how Porsches are built. You can blow and blow, and you can't blow the car down. Famous quote from 2024. Remember that.
that?
3 RS, V12 Vantage. What other performance car can I mention?
Driven the
But the M2
The California, but
California.
we've been in a TTRS, but I'd like to drive it. The R8, we've reviewed an R8.
That was
But
last year.
I'd like, no, the yellow one is
this year.
Yeah. R8 Spider, but I'd like to drive an R8. I've been in R8, but it was so long ago that I have more matric knowledge than knowledge of the R8's driving in my head. So
We need to get in one.
we need to drive an R8 before I include it. And once you've driven it, it'll be top 3 for sure.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know what third is.
I don't know. For me, top 3, I definitely put the M2 as 3.
Okay.
So V12 Vantage as 2nd. What would be the first one?
We've done a lot of performance.
We've done
cars.
a lot of performance.
CLS 63, RS7, M2 Comp, V12 Vantage, R8, but we didn't drive it.
You know what?
GT3 RS.
I'm gonna put the
CTRS.
CLS 63 as number 1 for me.
Yeah, I think that'll be. I think for me, it's probably I'd even put CLS near top 1, or top 2, but the 3RS was just an experience.
Yeah, that was just a.
So I think for me, it's 3RS, V12 Vantage, CLS 63. Honorable mention, definitely RS7.
Okay.
That car's bonkers.
It was.
But I need to drive a performance of the current variation. Then it'll be top 2.
Yeah.
And then another honorable mention, maybe M2 Comp.
Now, for me, car of the year for me, CLS 63 by far.
Car of the year?
Car of the year for me.
Car of the year. That's a tough one. CLS is definitely up there.
Because that has to be all round.
Yes.
Yeah.
CLS 63 was definitely up there for car of the year. A lot of the sporty cars, like the GT3, I can't put up there because I didn't get to drive it, unfortunately.
Okay.
R8, I didn't get to drive it. The CLS was more exciting than the RS7. So even though I'm a fanboy, the CLS is probably still up there. So probably CLS 63.
CLS 63.
I kind of felt, because
Yeah.
even though we drove that car like almost 6 to 7 months ago, we still talk about it to this day.
Yes.
Like, we still talk about how we felt when we drove that car. It was such an experience that I wish AMG can bring back in the new cars.
Yes.
Like, I really
That felt like it was AMG and Mercedes that started working together. It didn't feel like an A35 with an AMG badge. So it didn't feel like that. It felt like pure monstrosity inside of its engine. Like if you took a race car and put it on the road with no spoilers on and gave it 4 doors so that your wife is happy, even though the back headroom isn't great. But we won't mention that because the car was so fun.
Yeah, it was.
And it was built well.
So for us, car of the year, CLS 63 by
CLS
far.
63.
And I have a sneaky feeling next year it's going to be a lot bigger than that car. And not big in terms of size, because it will never be better than that car if it's big. But or weight. But I think we've got quite a few good cars lined up.
Yeah.
Okay, this is at the actual last question, and all 3 of us will answer this. Car that you're most excited to review next year?
Koenigsegg Gemera.
Relax, bro. Relax.
Well, Koenigsegg, so if you don't already know this, I guess you heard it here first. Koenigsegg is launching in South Africa next year.
Yes.
They were supposed to launch this month, actually, in December. But
you know, hypercar brands in South Africa, they don't really mix well.
They don't mix well in terms of times and everything and logistics. So they're actually launching next year.
Next year.
We are expecting to get either Gemera or Jesko. Yeah, Koenigsegg is launching in South Africa next year, and we're expecting Gemera to come in. We don't know. Actually, we do know.
There is confirmed
If there's enough of
Jesko
us.
and Gemeras.
Yes.
But we don't know if it's 1 next year or 2 next year or 12 next year. We're not getting
We don't know
12.
the exact
But we don't know if we're getting a lot next year or if it's going to be spanned over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I think what's probably going to happen is, even though we all think Gemera is going to go first, I think maybe Jesko might, because production's being finished now of Jesko's, and Gemera's is just about to start. But yeah, we'll see. If you guys do enough work, maybe we'll be able to review a Koenigsegg next year. That would be that's car of the year. I'm calling
If even half of everyone that watches our videos subscribes,
Yes.
we might
half of you watch the Prado video, subscribe.
Please.
That would be great.
I think, you know what, I think I'll find out next year, because this is going to be an extremely long edit. But
Yes. And we're not sure what we review.
Yeah.
It's
Not
very
sure what we
spontaneous.
We're not sure.
But of new cars that we know are going to come out to South Africa.
Dark
Next year?
Horse.
That's
will be
my
fun.
first one. That's going to be my car of the year for
Yeah.
next year. Excited.
Dark Horse will be
That's
fun.
most excited. That's
Yeah,
quite
I'm
most
most excited,
excited.
yeah.
I'm actually intrigued to see what the new RS3 is all about.
Mhm.
The face of RS3 that took the Nürburgring lap record and Audi's made it very drivers focused, or RS5 competition. I want to drive one of those.
Mine is going to sound a bit more boring. In
Because you
terms
are
of-
boring.
Land Rover Defender.
No, not even.
Jaguar.
Mine is the AMG GT. The actual AMG GT itself. I mean, it's not out in South Africa yet.
Yeah, not the coupe.
No,
The new AMG GT SL. 63 SE 4MATIC plus 2-door, 4-seater, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, spoiler, fast boost,
Performance.
hybrid performance.
Definitely.
But that car, specifically the performance variant, obviously, but just in terms of how that car is, I mean, that was the first car that I did a video by myself.
Mercedes,
the previous one. And I'm really just curious to see how they improved that one. And also how they managed to justify the price, because that's very close to the price of Maseratis.
Yes.
Also a Maserati, if we can get one of them.
And a Porsche.
And a Porsche.
We need to get a
We're definitely
Porsche.
going to get a Porsche. But
Yes.
if we can get our hands on a Maserati GT,
The new one.
that definitely is something that, yeah.
The only Stellantis ad in South Africa is of one of those. So we've got hopes.
Yeah.
So thank you again for 2024. We have ranted on for about half an hour to an hour. I don't know how long this video is, but you'll see.
Yeah, you guys will know because there's a lot of cuts in it.
There's a lot of cuts. But thank you again for giving us this amazing year. I think, you know, we've basically hit every goal I think we had this year.
Definitely.
And we're very much excited to see what 2025 has in store. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because there's a lot more coming in the future. So this is bye from us. Have a Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.